Hey y'all, what's up? My name is Kelsey, aka Kelsey K MUA, and I wanted to thank you so much for being here today. That sounded so corny, but it's okay. It keeps continuing to rhyme. Okay, so go ahead and jumping right into it. I have a lot of like first impressions, things I want to test out. I have the brand new Juvia'S foundation. I've got the Morphe eyelid primer. I've got the Maybelline Superstay Matte Ink lippies. I've got this L'Oreal, it's called the Telescopic Control Tip Liquid Eyeliner. Ooh, so I'm really excited to try that. I've been looking for a new liquid eyeliner. And this one was actually recommended to me by Nikia Joy. She's another YouTuber. And it's the Essence Lash Princess Mascara. And she said that it was absolutely fantastic. I trust all of her recommendations. So we're going to go ahead and try those out today. Okay, so I'm really nervous because I have a professional business presentation to give today. And I'm just like, oh! Because if this foundation doesn't look right on me or if it's not the right shade, I'm going to be wearing like a turtleneck to this presentation today. So let's just hope that all goes well. I'm going to go ahead and unpackage all of this stuff and we can jump right on into the tutorial. Okie dokie, so we're going to go ahead and get started today with the Rimmel Stay Matte Primer. I love this primer because I do have such an oily T-zone that putting this on does help with the oil production in my T-zone area. My cheeks do tend to get a little bit more dry, but I did apply a serum today after cleansing, toning, and moisturizing my skin. Let this dry down a little bit because I did apply that serum. So I do feel like my face is a little bit more tacky than it usually is after I apply this primer. So I'm going to go ahead and let that sit for a little bit, let this kind of dry down, and then I'm going to go in and apply the Juvia'S foundation. I have shade here, I'm probably going to butcher this, Cebu? C-E-B-U, shade 610. I picked this up at Ulta yesterday. I'm really excited to try it. What I really love about this foundation is the shade range. There are, oh gosh, I probably should have looked this up before filming this video, but I was very impressed with the shade range, the shade selection for this foundation. Lots of shades for deeper skin tones, which I feel like has been a huge issue in the beauty industry. Making sure that there is enough representation of deeper shades because beauty is for everyone, just saying. So let's go ahead and get started with this. I'm going to go ahead and this is supposed to be like a super duper full coverage foundation. So I'm going to start with a, maybe a little bit bigger than a pea-sized amount on the back of my hand. I'm going to go ahead and take my damp beauty sponge and just kind of hope for the best. Okay, the shade is not bad. Okay, I'm good. Okay, I was really hoping, ooh, but look at this full coverage. Oh my goodness. This is like erasing everything right now. Okay, you guys, I'm still not even done with that product that's here on the back of my hand, and my face is pretty well covered. I'm just gonna go ahead and get my ears. You would be surprised as to how many times I've walked around with my face being like a deeper shade and then having my ears be like a completely different color, because obviously I remember to put sunscreen on my face if I'm out of the pool, if I'm just out in the sun. It's really easy to obviously remember to put sunscreen on your face, but there are some times where I forget to put sunscreen on my ears, and then my ears get burnt and then they get all flaky and gross. It's the same philosophy when it comes to foundation. I always remember to put it on my face, but I always forget to put it on my ears, and then I walk around and my ears are like white and my face is not. Okay, you know what? That's a really, really good shade match for me. Look, okay. I mean, like, my chest is still a little bit more red. I don't know why in the world I'm so red. It's probably because I'm really excited and or nervous for this presentation, but whatevs. Next, I'm going to go ahead and jump into concealer with the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Concealer in the shade C2. And I'm going to go ahead and just apply this here. To be completely honest, I feel like if I had used a little bit more of the foundation, I wouldn't have to use any concealer at all. At this point, I'm really just using the concealer to brighten in specific areas. You know, the places that I normally apply my concealer. And now we're just gonna go ahead and blend it out.
Yeah.
Okay, so far with this first impression with this foundation, I think that it looks really, really nice. A nice kind of like almost, not really like dewy finish, but nice like soft velvety matte finish. It still looks skin-like. I don't feel like I look fake. This formula is fantastic. So congratulations to Juvia'S Place for really like hitting the nail on the head with this one. So jumping into powder now, I'm gonna go ahead and take my Arbonne Setting Pretty powder. I absolutely adore this powder. It has a couple like tiny reflects of not really like glitter, but it's almost kind of like shimmery and leaves the skin looking absolutely flawless. Just absolutely beautiful. Oh, that's way too much powder on that brush. Let's go ahead and not dry myself out. And go ahead and taking my sponge, dipping that here into the powder, like such. And I'm gonna go ahead and press my extra powder into my nose. Okay, we're looking pretty good here. I'm really excited for this. Moving on to bronzer, I'm going to go ahead and be dipping into the Morphe. This is the 8L Lo-Fi Sculpting Palette, the highlight and contour palette. I really, really, really like this contour and highlight palette. First of all, this shade right here, Cosmic, like, oh, it is so freaking pretty. So when I put this on the back of my hand, the first time I tried it, it was like a pink or like gold, but then it like has like a pink shift to it. I don't know if you can see it, but like, oh, it's so pretty. And it's such a natural looking glow, which is what I really love about it. So I'm gonna go ahead and take my brush and dip into the shade Debutante, which is this shade right here in the palette. I'm sorry, I have the sniffles because I always, my sinuses always tend to act up when after I wash my face. I do not know why. It happens every time, and now I just feel like I don't want to sit here and be like, but I also don't want like snot dripping down my face either, so I guess I might as well sniffle. I want this look to be very natural and neutral today, because I am giving this professional business presentation. I am presenting with a group, and for lack of better phrase, I'm just nervous. I feel like I always get really nervous when I'm giving presentations at school because it's not something that I'm really used to doing. You would think that after being in school for 10 years that I would be comfortable giving some sort of presentation. However, I'm always still terrified. Okay, so now going into the Morphe 8C blush palette. I absolutely adore these shades. They're super, super pretty. I'm actually going to be using the shade right here, Sexy. Something very light and natural. And going, Make sure to always smile when you're putting on your blush. I know that a lot of the time, this is kind of just considered like an older way, an older technique of doing your blush. But it honestly is super helpful because if you put your blush down here, you're pretty much dragging the face down, and that's not what you want. So now we're going to go ahead and dip into brows. I'm going to be using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow Pomade in the shade Taupe. I need to spoolie up my brows. See, how easy was that? I have so many people that are so scared to try pomades. I have so many of my friends that are like, oh my goodness, I'm so scared to try a pomade. I'm like, why? It's so easy. They're like, it's easy for you. I was like, no, I had to learn just like everybody else. Coolio. So brows are on. Oh. Next up, I'm going to be going in with the Morphe eyelid primer. This is a first impression. I have never tried this one before, so I'm really excited to see how it looks. As far as, ooh, it's kind of oily when it first comes out. Let me see if I can kind of like shake up the tube a little bit. Kind of like squish it. So there was a little bit of separation with this eyeshadow primer. But then again, to be fair, I did purchase this back in March and I just haven't used it until now. Okay, so that's a little bit better. So I do feel like there still is a little bit of separation here. You can, I don't know if you can see it here. Nope, it's still too blurry. Oh well. So like it's kind of almost like an oily base primer. However, it does have a tint to it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put that here on my eyelid. Dragging it all the way up to the brow. Okay, so right away I can kind of tell, I don't know if you can see this here, let me see if I can zoom in. Okay, so right away I can kind of see like right here, it is kind of patchy. Pardon my like old painted nails too. Let me see if I can maybe just blot it with a... Okay, so if you blot it with a beauty sponge, it looks so much better. I know that some people, they don't like to use beauty sponges, they prefer brushes. So whatever your preference is, I don't know if this is gonna work out well with without a sponge. But if I was just applying this with my finger and no other technique, I would probably be like, not really too into this. But since we are zoomed in, we can just go ahead and jump into the eyeshadow. Today I'm going to be using the Dominique Cosmetics Latte Palette. I absolutely adore the Latte Palette. I love Kristen Dominique. I've been watching her on YouTube for quite a while, and this was her very first eyeshadow palette that she brought out with her brand, Dominique Cosmetics. And as soon as I saw this in Sephora, I was like, ah! Like, my husband was like, what? What's wrong? And I was like, oh my gosh, they have the Latte Palette. I'm so excited. So I'm going to go ahead and dip into the shade here, Vanilla Cream, and apply this all over the lid to kind of set the lid. Again, I am going to be trying to keep this really neutral today, which is the reason why I picked this palette. Lots of really beautiful neutrals, warm tone, cool tone browns, those nice pops of color. And the formula is just absolutely fantastic. The pigmentation is beautiful. You will not be disappointed. Okay, so then using the same brush, I'm going to go ahead and dip into the shade right here, Caramel, Caramel, Potato. Tomato. So I'm going to go ahead and put that here in the crease. And really blending that out. Yeah. Okay, so next up I'm going to be dipping into the shade right here, Pumpkin Spice. And then for the outer V, I'm going to be taking the shade Hazelnut right here. This also, by the way, guys, I've been using the same brush for all of this because I really want the blending to be very consistent. I want it to be like that nice, like fluffy, smoky. If you are looking for a different type of look, if you are looking for something that's a little bit more precise, you want to use obviously different sized brushes. But for today's look, I'm going to be using the same brush. Usually when it comes to different eyeshadow looks, I will be using multiple brushes in the same eye look. I want this to just be like very, very fluffy looking. If you think that it looks like I'm blending for a really long time, it's because I am. The trick to eyeshadow is to blend and blend and blend and blend and blend again until you feel like your hand's gonna fall off. I was editing and going, oh my goodness, I totally forgot to do my lower lash line. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that right now before I forget. And pop that first shade Caramel here into the lower lash line. I am going to take the darkest brown shade in the palette called Mocha. It's this one right here. And just ever so slightly going to deepen up that outer corner even further. And just blend, 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 blend. Okay, perfect. So next up I'm going to be taking the shade Espresso right here from the palette and putting that on the outer half of my lid. This shade here is called Espresso. It's almost got like a green undertone to it, which is why I think it's super pretty. And then towards the inner third of the lid, I'm gonna go ahead and take this shade right here, Macchiato. And I'm also going to be using this shade as a brow bone highlight. Okay, so I think that is it as far as eyeshadow, and then I will be right back to go ahead and pop on some eyeliner and mascara, and we'll continue with the tutorial. Okay, we're back. So what I'm going to go ahead and do now is try out this L'Oreal Carbon Black Telescopic Liquid Eyeliner. I've been looking for a really good liquid eyeliner lately. Oh my goodness, I remember when everybody, like in middle school, we all used stuff like this, and then felt tip liners came out. We were like, yes, felt tip liners. But after a while, I was kind of like, felt tip liners, like they're nice, they're really convenient, but I just feel like I miss these. So I'm gonna go ahead and use this today. See how this turns out. Okay, so as a first impression, I really, really love how easy it was to create this wing. I didn't have any problems with it being difficult to apply. I think it's really pigmented, it's really dark and awesome. So I really, really like this. I'll probably be purchasing more of these, so I'm excited. Okay guys, these wings are looking really crispy. I really like the way that these look. Very natural. I mean, obviously wings aren't natural, but they look really, really good. Okay, so next for mascara, I'm going to be trying this Essence Lash Princess False. It's supposed to give you the false lash effect mascara. And if this is like the world's best mascara, I will definitely be purchasing this again because it's only $5. Not bad at all. I mean, I've definitely, I mean, I wouldn't say that this is like the world's best mascara. This is not the best mascara that I've ever tried. However, for a $5 mascara, I am impressed for sure. I think the brush is really what helps it for sure because you get lots of definition between the lashes. I wouldn't necessarily say that I'm getting like the false lash effect. I mean, I do wear false lashes sometimes, however, I don't wear them every day because I am terrified of all of my lashes falling out with lash glue from wearing lashes so often, so I'd rather just get really good mascara. Okay, perfect. So now I'm gonna go ahead and, oh, should I do lips or highlighter first? Let's do lips. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and wipe off the foundation off my lips. Okay, so for a lip liner, I am going to be using the NYX lip liner in shade Nude Beige. One of the tips and tricks that I always use to make my lipstick last a little bit longer, especially if I'm going to be having a really long day, I don't want to have to keep reapplying my lipstick, you can put lip liner on your lips and kind of almost make it almost like your lipstick for that day. It's really nice too if you just want to apply like a gloss on top. Looks really pretty. But today I'm going to be trying out the Maybelline Superstay Matte Ink. This is the shade Seductress. And I'm all into the nudes when it comes to lips. Oh, this is so pretty. I love the way this smells too. It smells like caramel or cake. Ooh, cake. Ooh, or like cupcakes. Ooh, I'm hungry now, I want cupcakes. Okay, so I love this color. The formula is a little bit sticky when you first apply it. It's not, it hasn't immediately dried down. However, I do think that these are supposed to dry down to a completely matte finish. But, so while that's doing its thing, I'm going to go ahead and dip into the Morphe High Impact Highlighter Palette. What shade should I use? I think I'm going to go ahead and use this shade right here called Trance. And pop that right here. Oh my gosh, this is so pretty. Very like natural looking. I'm not going for that really, really high impact, like blinding highlight right now because I don't want the judges for our presentation today to be like, so what's all that shiny stuff on your face? I have a feeling that these guys are not going to understand what a blinding highlight does for some of us. For some of us, a blinding highlight is like, ah. Okay, so I'm going to be finishing up this look today with some setting spray. I'm going to be using the Gerard Cosmetics Slay All Day setting spray. I love this because it's long lasting. It really holds my makeup in place and I really don't have to worry about my makeup slipping and sliding on my face throughout the day. Okay, I think that is just about it. So guys, thank you so much for watching this tutorial today. Wish me luck on my presentation today. Hope we get an A. Again, thank you for watching. Please like, share, subscribe. If you like this video, if you want to see something next, or if there's something else you want me to try, go ahead and pop it down in the comment section down below, and I will see you in my next video.